What's going on, Real Beauty Bosses? Jordan here with the Real Beauty Bosses team and the Salon and Beauty Pro Marketing Education Group. Today I got Stefanie Richards here with me. I hope you guys are
Hi.
super excited for this interview. But I'm going to introduce you, Stefanie. So you have been in the health and beauty industry for 17 years.
Yep, that's correct.
You've been a salon receptionist, a manager, an assistant, a stylist, and an esthetician.
Yes.
And you're currently opening up a new salon, spa, and wellness center where you're going to be doing hair as well as Reiki energy healing. You can do a lot of different things going on, huh?
I do. I wear many hats.
That's awesome. Well, today, the topic of today is how you have turn around a salon that was losing 50 grand a month on average by using one simple secret we're going to be talking about today.
So my name is Stefanie. I have been in the industry for 17 years. I started out in Los Angeles. I've been in Phoenix for the past 5 years. And like Jordan said, I started from the bottom. Now I'm here. I was a salon receptionist all through college. I eventually went to school, got my license, became an assistant. I assisted 2 people before I went on my own. And then I went on to work as a commission stylist, a salon manager. I've been a booth renter as well. And
Done it all.
into salon ownership. Yeah.
That's awesome. And this is going to be your first experience as being the salon owner, right? Like actually managing and organizing staff.
It is my first 100% owned by me experience. My last situation was sort of more of a corporation thing. I had a lot of partners. Some I never knew were my partners. Some I never met. So I really wanted to avoid getting into that situation again. So it's just all me this time.
I gotcha. Well, I saw your space. We saw it like, what was it, like a week ago?
Yeah.
And it's a really nice space. It's all under construction. So you're designing everything the way you want. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And how's that process going so far?
It's been a long process. I thought it would take like 3 months. It's taken 1 year and 3 months. So there's
not your
some
fault,
reality for you.
What's going on, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you can stall all you want, but there's also going to be a lot of other people in the process that you can't control. So I've just sort of like given it up to God, and it's not on my timeline. And so now we're kind of in the crunch, and we are finally finishing. So I got to get my passion restored and get into gear. We're going to be open in like 3 weeks. So very exciting.
Awesome. That's super exciting. But Stefanie, how about you start off by giving us like a little bit of a background of how you got into the industry? It's been 17 years, right?
It's been 17 years. Yeah.
How did it all begin for you, and what led you up to now?
I went to school for psychology originally. I went to the University of New Mexico and I put in my time there. And then from there, I moved to Los Angeles like as soon as I could. And I went to school for exercise science.
Okay.
And so I started doing.
That's funny.
Awesome. I started doing nutritional counseling and training and that type of thing. I continued to pursue further education in psychology. So I was still going to school in LA.
Okay.
And then I actually lived down the street from a beauty school, Maranello in Burbank. Anyone? So I would drive by all the time. It was on my way to pretty much anything I went to. And I would kind of be like, gosh, I kind of want to just park the car and go in and like, let's just crunch some numbers. Let's just see how long cosmetology school takes. And so eventually one day, I think I was actually driving home from class and I just parked and went in and like, I don't know, had probably a 15-minute conversation. And then I was like enrolled and starting the next week. So I had to go home to my husband and be like, guess what I did, And then he's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to do all the school. I'm going to keep going to the school I'm going to. I'm going to go to night school for beauty school. And
that's crazy.
Yeah,
so
I just made it happen.
On a whim type of thing, huh? Like,
I mean, kind of, it was always in the back of my mind. I will say like my dad is an aeronautical engineer. He went to Princeton. His father went to Princeton. His father's father went to Princeton. And then my mom was an accountant. So it's like I just had these parents that were like, that's not a job, Steph,
Yeah.
And like, lo and behold, like it is a job and it's a career. And there's so many different things you can do with it. Like if you are just done standing on your feet and cutting hair all day, guess what? You can do skincare. Like there's so many different avenues you can go into. And little did I know, but here I am.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, like for you, you were going to school for like psychology, or first it was
Yes.
exercise sports science, then you switched to
Yeah.
psychology.
I
That's
just
exactly
did
what
it
I
all.
did. And then did you finish with that, or did you make the transition over to
I
psychology?
did.
Okay,
So I'm
you
just
did
like
finish.
overeducated, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing. It's money well, wasted.
yeah.
So,
Investing into yourself, right?
yeah, so I don't know. I just didn't fully click with anything. I loved training and doing nutrition counseling, but as you know, if you're a personal trainer, you have an 80% failure rate in clients.
Right.
So we think we have a hard time keeping clients. They have an even harder time just because nobody really wants to work out like the
Right.
way that they
You got to
commit
keep
to in
people.
the
Yeah.
beginning.
I mean, that's true to this industry too. You have to keep
Yeah. Oh,
selling
you
your
always
clients
keep
on coming
going.
back, right? So
Yep,
it's not just like getting them in the door. You have to sell them on coming back to you,
exactly.
and getting the same results. So I think it all files in. Maybe it was all for a reason that you went through all the education you did.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but that's pretty cool. 17 years that you've been doing
Yes.
this, and it kind of just came to you that it was something you always wanted to do. You decided to pull the trigger and do it. And where did it first start? Let's like start there, because I do want to catch up till now to where you're
Okay.
at with the salon. So like, did it
Yeah.
start out as a stylist? You said, like, where did the first business begin for you?
Well, I was a receptionist all throughout college. So
Okay.
even before I was ever licensed, I would always keep a salon job because I wanted the discount, to be
Okay.
honest.
Mhm. Nothing
And
wrong
I
with that.
just loved that atmosphere. And like, I idolized the stylist.
Hmm.
So, like I said, eventually got licensed myself. I started out as an assistant in Los Angeles. I actually started assisting before I had even gotten my license.
Hmm.
And then I assisted two people within the same salon. So I started with one and then I kind of moved over to the other. And
Okay.
then I went on my own from there.
Awesome. And so when you went on your own, did you like open up a studio or
No, I found one salon that I thought that I wanted to work at, and I
yeah,
got in, and it turned out it was just nothing like I made it up to be in my head. So it just wasn't
yeah.
a good fit. And I was super lucky because on my second try, I found another salon, which is Neighborhood Salon in Echo Park. And
Okay.
that was much more of a fit. And I stayed working at that salon all the way until I moved here to Phoenix.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
And how long
Yeah.
ago have you, when did you move out here to Arizona?
I've been here for 5 years in September.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So up until now, like you were working all those different um, jobs and receptionists, you were doing all types of things in the beauty services space.
Yeah.
But then when was it that you like really planted down and started growing a clientele for yourself and building a business?
I mean, the biggest and best clientele that I had was in Los Angeles. So it
Okay.
was like the hardest thing to move. And I still to this day say, like, I don't miss my friends there the way that I miss my clientele.
Mhm.
So that was probably more when like business was booming and I was renting my booth and like I couldn't take walk-ins, I couldn't take new requests. I was that full.
Awesome.
And then when I moved here, I started out as a stylist and I took over, I think within a few months as the salon and spa director. So then my focus kind of shifted to filling my staff with clientele.
I gotcha.
And then running the business was my main gig. And I was there to just take extras and take walk ins. But it was always really important to me that their chairs were all full before I gave clients to myself.
I gotcha. And
Yeah.
how when your clientele was full, do you remember like what was an average month that you'd be taking home, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, this was 8 and 9 years ago. So I
Hmm.
was typically like at the least making 4,000 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
So it's
and
pretty,
then
pretty
when you were
good for back
working,
then.
yeah, not bad at all. Like, and then when you got to the manager role, like you were focusing on driving clientele into the salon.
Right.
Were you paid like by the salon, just like salary type thing, or?
Yeah, so when
Okay.
I got offered the position, I had an offer letter with the starting salary, and then I still got to keep my commission and tips from
Hmm.
taking clients, but
Hmm.
more often than not, I would not put those on my paycheck and just put them back into the salon because we
Hmm.
had so much work to do to turn the place around. So
Right.
when I got to a point where I could start actually paying myself my full money, that was a big change.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
like did you feel like when you got into that management role it really like helped you kind of take a back end on like understanding the business aspect of the salon space a little bit more than since you were just
Yeah.
a stylist at first?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It completely changed everything for me because this salon that I had, they were on the second ownership. So the original owner had the salon for a year, and he
Mhm.
also had free rent for that entire first year. And at the end of the first year, they still had to close.
Okay.
So they got new management, which involved like a developed company, a hotel, and then some like fitness management company. There was just so many cooks in the kitchen. So I started
Yeah.
there as a stylist. They ended up clearing all of those people out, getting a new manager.
Hmm.
He had his own issues, cleared him out, and then finally it was me. So
Okay.
by the time they offered me the job, it was like their last try, they were done. And these are all people that weren't in our industry, so they
Right.
really didn't know how to fix things. So when I took it on, it was actually not until after I accepted the offer and signed the offer letter, they sat me down and they told me, we are hemorrhaging money. We're losing $600,000 annually,
Oh,
and you have 1 year to fix it. Thank you.
good luck, right?
Yeah. And so I was like,
Holy moly.
all
Six
right,
hundred thousand
a year.
a year. They
Yeah.
were losing.
Losing,
How does that
bleeding
even
money.
happen? How does that happen?
So, they built, I don't want to say any names, but they built this salon
Hmm.
in a location that they kept saying was up and coming, but really, especially when they first started out, it was a ghost town. Like,
Yeah.
so they built this massive salon. It has the capacity to have 20 chairs, and then there was a whole spa with treatment rooms, and then tons of square footage of just wasted space. So like the entrance from the front door to the front desk was like 30 feet, like just insanity. The way that they mapped it out made no sense. Like it was just a lot of people creating this giant salon and spa
Hmm.
that didn't have any prior salon experience. And
Okay.
I don't know if they just thought like if you build it, they will come.
I think that's
But
what a lot of people think,
I know. And
right?
so then they just learned kind of the hard way, like handing it off from one person to another, like trying to
Yeah.
make this place work.
Yeah.
And in the end, when they brought me in, they said, we just want you to break even. We don't care if there's ever a profit. Like, we really just can't lose any more money. And we
Right.
need you to just break even and hold this space until we can sell it. Because they were already at that point pretty much looking to sell.
Yeah.
So that was my job, and we kept that place held for 4 more years until they were
That's
able to
crazy.
sell it. So
So
yeah.
you were like more than just a manager. You had to come in and basically be a consultant and solve all these problems.
Yeah, at one
That's
point
pretty
they kind of
awesome first
pushed
field
out some of the
experience.
ownership and then brought me into that position too. So
Awesome.
at the end of everything, I didn't really have a boss. I didn't have to answer to anyone. They trusted me enough to just do my deal. So that's, a lot easier to work that way.
Right. Well, that's nuts. Let's like look at like maybe so you went into the salon, it was failing miserably, losing 50 grand a month, you said.
Yes.
So what like steps did you take to start to fix some of these problems? Like how do you fix a failing salon?
Well, so I got a few mentors, one within my industry and one that was not.
Okay.
He was the general manager of a hotel. So a lot of, working with large amounts of money and
Mhm.
different, spas, restaurants, a lot of experience. So from that, that's when I learned that before you do anything else, you have to discover your target market.
Mhm.
And from there, you can establish a brand. So I went on this adventure to find my target market and then
Mhm.
also the target market of the whole staff combined, and
Okay.
how to work with such a vast target market because all of us were so different.
Mhm.
And from there, creating a brand. We rebranded the whole salon. I wish I could have renamed it, but they wouldn't let me go that far.
I got you.
Um, but we rebranded all of our marketing materials, and then that, you know, because of the way we rebranded, we had to like repaint the whole salon and kind of redecorate
Mhm.
everything. So
Yeah.
we took it as far as we could, as far as like changing everything that was in there because it just wasn't working.
I gotcha. Well, let's like dive in. That's our first thing today is like how to craft a brand that
Yes.
consistently and predictably attracts your ideal type of client. How many of you guys need help with like finding out who your ideal client is? Let us know in the comments.
And I want to say first, like when I say ideal client, I don't mean like in your mind, your ideal, because my ideal client would be Lisa Vanderpump with endless amounts of money that invites me to her restaurant openings all the time. And then I become her best friend. But like, because of my location and other factors, like that's my dream client, you know?
Right.
So what I mean by ideal client is the clients that are visiting you the most frequently, sending you referrals, paying those high ticket prices, getting multiple services, because your ideal is who is going to let you work smarter, not harder.
Right.
So to come
who
up
wants to work
with
smarter, not harder?
Yeah.
In the comments.
All of us, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So if we can fill our books with those ideal clients, then that's the way that we're going to generate income. That's the way that we're going to be able to turn down the clients that are kind of difficult and that you see on your books and want to call in, like that type of thing.
Exactly.
So you have to go through and establish what your target market is. And that's all included in the worksheet that I'm going to provide for everybody. So you guys will have...
Yeah, just a heads up, guys. Stephanie's going to be dropping a worksheet.
33-page workbook that's going to take you through the target market process, and then from there, move you into branding. So by the time you're done with this workbook, you'll have your target market established, and you'll have your branding started. And then it's just up to you to carry it through. So
let's like step it back a little bit. So you said when it comes to identifying your ideal client, it's not always just like on the top of your head what you think. You know, oh, I want Susie Q who spends a lot of money. She shops beauty and all that stuff. Where's like the first place you would start if you were like, you're not really sure? Like I can serve a lot of people. I do a lot of services. I have some clients that I really like, but where do I start if I really want to figure out like who's that dream client for me?
Okay, so this is what you're going to do, and this is what's in the workbook. I like to do 2 top 10 lists.
Okay.
So my first top 10 is just my favorite clients, the ones that like when I see them on my schedule, I'm super excited, the ones that make me remember why I loved to do this industry in the first place, right? So your second top 10 list, you're going to go through your books, and a lot of booking software has reports that you can run that will just tell you this, so you don't have to look through your books. But either way, you're going to figure out your top 10 clients that are visiting you most frequently and or the highest ticket clients.
Right.
So you have this list of people. And from there, next to each of their names, you're going to write down their age. You might not know their age, but you can kind of guess whether they're male or female, whether they're getting hair color or just haircuts. Okay. And from there, you can compile this sheet. So it's like on average, they're spending this. On average, they're in this age range.
Right.
And from there, you're going to get a little bit further and you're going to sort of become, I like to call these people now my muse. So you're going to figure out, like, they're inspiring you to do the best that you can do hair-wise. But what inspires them? Where do they hang out? What do they do for jobs? I have tons of nurses. We have a lot of lawyers that come into my salon just from location. So figuring out like what these people are all doing for work, what's their annual income.
Right. Get as specific as possible, right?
As specific as possible. What are they doing in their free time? Where do they shop? Where do they go to dinner? And it's as easy as asking those people, right? Because they're already in your chair, you're making conversation. And if you're, I mean, what woman client doesn't want to be asked, like, where in the heck do you shop? You always look so stinking cute. Like, they're going to tell you.
Yeah, like, that's a good thing, too. Like, now that you mention it, like, doing, like, research with your clients is also a really strong way to build rapport with them,
exactly.
Too, right?
And it's like, where's a good happy hour around here? Right. Like, where's the best restaurant? Where do you go for dates? Or where do you go for family nights out? Like,
right. Because that'll help you with your, not just your online marketing, but your local too. Like, oh, she's hanging out there. Maybe there's other people like her there, right?
Exactly.
So
You're
That's
going to
juicy.
get to the bottom of things, okay?
Yeah.
And that will take you all the way from like getting the idea of this target market to like who you're going to follow on social media and such, you know. So for those of you that don't know what a target market is, since I'm just throwing that term around like it's normal, like I had never heard of that before. I needed to learn it.
Hmm.
So your target market, by definition, is the group of consumers that are most likely to purchase your goods and services,
Hmm. Gotcha. Most
if that
likely
makes
to purchase,
sense.
like actually spend money with you, right?
Yes.
What if you're in the situation where maybe you are fresh or new, or maybe you don't have that many clients? What can you do to at least get like a starting point?
So basically, that's kind of when you can make more of your like dream client list
Okay.
within reason.
Hmm.
So if you are in your 20s and you're like super boho and you're working at this salon on the beach, like you want girls similar to yourself, maybe a little bit older, so they're more established, have some more income. They are surfing, they're going to yoga, they're going to specific restaurants. So you're going to go and compile that type of thing.
Hmm.
And then if you want to attract people via social media, let's say you decide all of your clients are super into yoga. So you're going to search for all the yoga studios by your salon within a
Hmm.
5 mile, 10 mile radius, and you're going to follow them.
Right.
Maybe start going to some yoga yourself so you meet these
Yeah.
women. And then you're going to start following their followers,
Right.
right? Because they'll follow you back. And then
Right.
you're going to post your promos and come on in and the pictures that you do have. So you
Yeah.
can start attracting those clients even if you don't necessarily already have them.
Absolutely. And what we usually say too is like using like online communities like Facebook groups and stuff too. Like if your ideal client is like a mom who does yoga, go join Facebook groups and places where you can find moms and also people who do
Yes.
yoga, right? Because
Yes,
when it comes to
absolutely.
the ideal client, like you said, as we first started this, like it only takes one of them to really like send you referrals to stick around for a long period of time,
Exactly.
stack on thousands of dollars for your business. And so stop looking at your clients like the quick one-off services, like $100 here, or, you know, $200 or $50. Like look at them like, how can I take this person into my biggest referral source, my biggest fan, and duplicate and clone this person so I can have a whole, you know, book of clients just like this, right?
Yes,
And if you have that, they're going to be more likely to tell more people about you and who you
right.
have because you're more specific, right? Uh,
Exactly. And I'm
yeah.
glad you brought that up because you can take your favorite clients and say to them, you are one of my favorite clients. I want 100 of you. Like, where are your friends going? Send them to me. Like, do you know people like you? Because
I
again,
give
that's
my
so
community that
flattering.
script. I literally give like I have a. If you guys want that script to ask for referrals, I'll drop that for you guys. It's in our mastermind group. It literally says like, "Hey, Susie, whoever's your ideal client, how has things been since our last appointment?" And then literally saying like, "Hey, if you don't mind, I'm actually looking for some more awesome clients like you. Do you have anyone in mind that could refer to me?" It's something like that. Like
Exactly.
that's the best way to do it. They're gonna have a better idea of more people that are just like them than you are
Right.
about like going to the masses, right?
Right. But it really is that simple. And
Hmm.
so, as you're going through the worksheets, you'll be like, this is so easy. Why? But nobody's doing it.
Right.
So
They're
that's
just
the
going out
advantage you
to everybody.
have.
I can help anybody and everybody, and then they end
Yeah.
up with nobody, right?
Right. And
So
you can probably help anybody and anybody. And the randoms will come in.
anyone can.
People way outside of your target
Yeah.
market will come in and stay with you. However, you're going to get the most use of your time by really focusing on that niche
Right.
market.
So we talked about attracting and identifying that ideal client.
Yes.
We talked about identifying. Now let's talk about attracting and how we can
Okay.
actually like craft our brand to actually like get more people like that. If this is
Right.
helpful for you guys, like let us know in the comments so we can keep on going. But we talked about identifying. Now, how do we attract our ideal clients and brand ourselves to attract that?
Okay. So branding, I could talk about branding all day. So I'm going to try to be concise and to the point. But basically, so branding is like the combination of aesthetics that you're going to put out there, whether it be printed material, social media, the way your salon looks. So when you're establishing your branding, you need to take a good look around your salon and make sure that it matches, because it makes no sense to do this huge project and then people come into your salon and it looks nothing like the way that you're branding yourself. So that's an important thing. Branding for a salon owner is going to be a little bit different than branding for staff or a renter.
Right.
Certain things within that format, but it's got to all be the same. And the reason for that is brand recognition. And there's a page about that in the workbook too. So when somebody sees the logo or the symbol, they should know what it goes to. Like, you want your salon to be booming to the point where, like, let's say you have a little symbol like Target stores, they have that red and white Target. You don't need the word Target above it. You can see that little Target symbol and you're like, that's a Target. So imagine getting your salon to a point where it's big enough where people can drive by and see your little flower or your little scissors or whatever it is and go, oh yeah, that's the salon.
Right.
So everything should really match. And even though like we're so creative and we want to go on and design our own cards and we find these prints that are really cool, like you just can't, like, just move on.
Right.
So it's everything lining up with the salon aesthetic as an overall whole, and then you bringing in your little flair to that.
I gotcha. How do you get your brand to stand out? And for two, how do you actually attract people towards your brand? Like, what do you do to actually promote yourself and get yourself out there?
Right. Well, so the next part of branding is realizing that you are your brand. So you're not your target market. You might fit into your target market, but you're not your target market.
Right.
Rarely ever are you exactly your target market, but you are your brand. So a good example of that is like even the way we present ourselves. So for me, I have literally 2 separate closets. So I'm sitting right now in my dressing room. That's why there's like hats behind me, because my closets in my bedroom are my regular Stefanie outfits. I have a completely separate dressing room for my professional wardrobe, and never the two cross. They're different people. So when I'm going to work or when I'm going to go network or if I'm going out, I have this intention to dress from this section of clothing because I'm promoting my salon and my brand. Obviously, like if you are at a networking event, like your behavior is your brand. So you're going to need to act a different way than if you're out clubbing, you know? And that will attract the people that you've established in your target market because your branding's based on what they like and what they want and what appeals to their eye. So when you are a walking, talking visualization of that, you're going to attract those people. You're going to go to events and women there are going to want to be friends with you if you're not catty, standing in the corner. If you're like the bubbly cheerleader, best friends with everybody, they're going to all want to meet you and you're going to get them in your chair.
Right. 100%. I got you.
Yeah.
Ashley had something happen today. She told us that someone who apparently was some sort of branding expert said that her brand wasn't attractive. It was her favorite colors and she's proud of it. She thinks it stands out. But this person said it should be more like this. When should you consider like revisiting your branding, and when should you ever like maybe take a second look at if you should rebrand or something?
I would say, you know, if you're taking someone else's advice, like have they taken a look at what your target market is? They could be correct because like I said, you are not your target market. So if you're using all of the things that you like for your logos and whatnot, you're not necessarily using what they like. But if you go through the workbook, it'll become clear very quickly if you're on point or like drifted or just on the other side of the ocean. You'll know where you're at.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think like also too, like Ashley, the best way to know is just to ask your current clients their advice or say like, hey, do you like this better or this better? And just like give them the option because they're going to know best because they're your clients, right? So don't try to figure it out yourself. You guys should know by now that like every single week we're asking you guys questions because we're doing research on what the heck you guys actually want to know about. And so that way we're not just coming to spit, random education out here. It's actually things that you guys want to know about because we're asking. So you just have to get good at asking and talking and communicating with your clients so you can get to know them, what their goals, what their needs are, what their wants are, what their fears are. And all of those things are going to help you craft your brand. And also, if you ever are confused on what you should do when it comes to attracting your clientele, sometimes the best person you can ask is that ideal client. We have to figure out who that is first, right?
Exactly.
I love it. Well,
and another thing you guys can do if you have a logo or branding that you already have done, but you feel like it's not quite where it could be, you can hire someone, and it's really not that expensive. You can send them like, these are the fonts that I like. This is what I have so far. And they'll come back with a few different options. And the nice thing about paying someone to do it, it's pretty much a one-time service, and you can get it as low as like $99. I think I paid for my last logo girl. And that way they can send you like every type of file that you're ever going to need. I'm getting a new sign made for my salon, and it's a file I've never even heard of, but I just like emailed the person that made my logo. She sent it to me. It's not an extra charge typically. And then they'll give you even like overlays for Instagram that you can put over your pictures. Like they'll provide you with all kinds of cool stuff that I don't know how to do. So, it's worth it.
This logo right here, this Real Beauty Bosses logo, I just went on Fiverr. It was like $50. So, that's all you have to do.
I told them like, hey, online.
I'm looking to model something like this. I found someone that was in my ideal market. I figured out what like color codes that I wanted to use due to my own research. And then I just said, hey, can you create something like this and use my brand name? And they were able to do it, and this has been here for over a year now. So, like, it's not that hard. You literally outsource all the hard things on, like, Fiverr.com or, like, Freelancer or anything like that. If you ever need help with, like, these little tasks that you shouldn't be wasting your time trying to figure out on your own, let someone know who, like, knows what the hell they're doing. Do that tedious little stuff so you can actually focus on growing your damn business, right? Like, that's what you need to focus on. So, let's transition to the next thing here. What's the one thing that makes your brand profitable?
Consistency. That is it. Consistency. So your sign outside of the salon needs to look like your business cards, needs to look like your website, needs to look like your social media. Your social media needs to look exactly like your salon's social media. Everything needs to be consistent because, again, it provides that brand recognition. And it just looks like you're an absolute professional versus all this different stuff everywhere. You look crazy, I got to tell you, especially on social media.
Yeah, like no one knows what you are or anything like that.
Exactly.
And when you're getting to the point where you're trying to get yourself out there, you need to do things that people will remember you by, so that they'll know it's actually you, right? So 100% consistency is how you're going to make your brand profitable. So any advice or tips or tricks on that?
I would say, the biggest thing for me is social media, and I think all of us are using Instagram more for our professional situations. You have to have a completely separate professional Instagram than your personal Instagram. If you're not going to separate the two, don't even have a professional Instagram. Just don't do it, because you're going to want, like, let's say that your branding is more of like the rainbow hair colors and you do all of these vivids color. Your whole Instagram feed should just be a very simple background and then rainbow hair for days. And like, let's say you cut men's hair too and you're a barber or whatever it is. Those are going to be here and there sprinkled. But your ideal client, your target market, are those girls that want that rainbow hair and all the crazy braids and like all of this. So that's what you're going to have on there only. There's not going to be selfies with your Snapchat filter. There's not going to be a picture of your cat. There's not going to be the food you had for lunch. All of that is on a separate Instagram, or you can put that stuff on your story on your
Right.
professional page so that your clients are connecting with you like, oh, look, she
100%.
has cats. I love cats. Or look, she's at yoga. Look, she's eating at this place. I love it there. Or like, where is that food from? I need to message her. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
The
All of that
story is
goes
the
on the
behind the
story.
scenes. Like that's why it's called the story.
That's
Like show
slice of
people,
life right
yeah,
there.
like
Yeah.
little reality show. It's your
Right.
story, right? But that's okay.
Right.
But obviously the feed, like you need to use like your Facebook page, your business page, your Instagram page as like your sales tool, right? Like if people are looking
Exactly.
for you, or if maybe they're trying to decide whether or not they want to come see you, like if that page does not sell them, that's your fault. That's on you. And if it doesn't do that, it needs to like go fix it, right? Because that's what
Exactly.
it's there for. So I love that. And I also say too, like if you really want to be the most successful, like turn your personal profiles into your big business generating attraction, right? Like make
Right.
your personal brand part of your brand, right?
Right.
Because that's what's ultimately going to get the most people connected with you, especially if you're doing like stories and stuff like that. It gets people that emotional attachment with you, which ultimately allows them to, want to inquire more, want to ask questions, want to share what you got going on. Like we're everywhere right now with what we're doing, and so like you guys are more likely to see what we're doing, and you're seeing behind the scenes too, and you're seeing like we're in front of the camera like 7 times a week, right? So
Right.
like we're in your face and stuff, right? And we're very consistent, but at the same time, a lot of it is through, we don't do too much with our business page. It's more personal, right? Because I'm building real relationships with people, and when you're in the beauty services space, that's what it's all about, right?
Exactly.
Sarah said, why wouldn't you want to combine? I keep hearing mixed things about posting or not posting personal photos.
Like your personal Instagram or Facebook can be whatever you want, and you have, the right to post whatever you're doing, whatever you want, whatever your political stance is, all of that. But your Facebook pages or your Instagram pages that are for professional, they need to look like a completed professional catalog, just as though you got a leather bound book shot by a professional photographer that the client's flipping through,
Right.
because that's going to attract the clients versus like, here's some hair, here's a cat, here's a sandwich, here's me at a Guns N' Roses concert, here's some more hair, here's my
It's
nails
just so
here, you know what
scattered,
I mean?
right?
It's
Yeah.
too scattered, it's not focused. And if you look side by side at somebody's Instagram that is consistent, clean background, hair for days, versus someone that's sprinkling in that professional or that personal, you're
Yeah.
going to see a huge difference.
And I think here's where, Sarah, this is maybe where the fine line is. Like, it's okay to have that personal side too incorporated in there as long as it's in line with the brand and the
With your
business,
brand.
right?
Absolutely.
It's if you're like, posting a bunch of pictures of hair and then you're out like at the concert and stuff, unless it relates to the business, don't post it, right? But if
Right.
you have a story of how like you did your hair that day or had something done with your hair that led you to be more
Absolutely.
confident in going to the concert, share that, right? But if it's not correlated, like get rid of it. Or keep it.
Right. And like I said, you do need to have your personality on there, your interests, what you're doing. Your clients do want to see like slice of life. If they
Yeah.
identify with you on a personal level, they're automatically going to like you better. But that all just goes in your story so they can still see what you're doing and what you're about. But it's not stuck on your online finished catalog that employers are looking at, other salons are looking at to try to poach you. Clients are looking at all of it. So
Right. Ashley says,
if
how would you recommend doing this for aesthetics? It's a lot harder to get photos of clients.
that's true. So for aesthetics, the biggest thing, I mean, you can do before and afters. You can do, if you do makeup as well, obviously that's the easy thing to post all the time. But if you're not doing any makeup, professional makeup, that's where you can kind of break the rules a little bit, and you're just going to become this like whimsical spa zened out brand. So
If that's
some
your
of
brand,
it's,
right? It depends
yeah,
what problem you're solving. Because I've seen some
right,
estheticians that, they don't want to brand themselves as Zen. They want to brand themselves in like, I solve people's skin problems, right?
exactly.
And
So
it
you
depends.
you're going to be, whatever it is. That was just my
Right.
example. Or if you're, like Dr. Pimple Popper is the
Yeah.
best.
Look at her brand,
She's
right?
very niche though. That's all her Instagram is.
Yeah.
But whatever it is. So whenever you kind of figure out like what that avenue is, you can do more of the things that go along with that. And then also for skincare, it's really going to be more of a focus on like education and educating people how to take
Yeah.
care of their skin, how to's. It can be a lot of like selfie action because maybe you're going to show your nightly skincare routine.
Right.
Maybe you're going to show before and after with eye gels or whatever it is that you're using.
Exactly.
And if clients don't want you to take pictures of them while they're getting their facials, like obviously they're not wearing clothes under their blankets and such. Like, I get it, it gets awkward, but you can always do the before and after if you have like a plain background somewhere in the entrance of your suites or your salon or your spa. You can have them do a before and after. If they're on a series package, you definitely want to do that. And then let's say you don't have clients that are that comfortable with that. Why don't you trade with someone else that works with you and get them on a series so you can see
Right.
like before, after 3 sessions, after 6 sessions. So
Yeah.
I get it. It is harder for estheticians just because a lot of what we post is like red blotchiness if we're doing it, during
Well,
services. But
I think like it's a confidence thing, right? Like if
absolutely.
you're confident in like letting this person know that you can solve their problems and like that this is part of your process, that you like to document the progress so they can see it, and you like to help educate others as well. Like,
Right.
if they say no, that's okay. But a lot of the time people are just too afraid to ask.
Yeah.
And also like if you don't have confidence that you can actually help them with these problems, yeah, it's like I wouldn't be confident taking pictures and stuff of them either, right?
Right.
You're not really exposing the fact that you're helping them. You're just exposing them, right? So I think it all just depends, like, make getting photos, I think, just part of your process, and like turn your business more into like a documented process. Like document your journey. If you're in the aesthetic space, like Stefanie just said, like try doing something interesting, like going live once a week to educate people on specific topics or something like that. That'll help attract people. Also, while you're working on clients, just like let them know, hey, I usually do before and afters, and sometimes I even do a quick little clip of our treatment. Is that something you're okay with doing? Like pre-frame them into the fact that like they're expecting it, so that when you do it, they're not like, don't do it.
Right.
Rather than you just say, hey, here's the camera.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, right? So just pre-frame your clients and like be more confident in the fact that like, hey, this is just part of my process. I like to document what I do so I can help other people. And make your little, like, try that live thing too. If you can build up the confidence to do it, like once a week, I'm going to go live. I'm going to educate people on this, and this when it revolves to skincare. Do some research with your audience too. Hey, what do you guys want to know about skincare? What do you guys want to know about self-care? You can do that for any service. Create your own little TV show on your Instagram and Facebook and stuff. That'll help you
There
out.
you go. And you
You can
can
build
do
your own brand.
tons of product knowledge as well. So if
Yeah.
you can even follow whatever skincare lines you're using, because typically if you're using somebody's line, they'll let you repost their pictures. So they're like super professional, and then just give the little spiel about what this product does, why you love it. I think people are more interested in skincare and why versus hair care.
Right.
So you have
Oh yeah.
that in your
There's more
favor
education.
too.
What are the social media and branding hacks you need to know to get more eyeballs on you and your business? Got some quick little hacks for us?
Yeah. Let's see. I think we've already talked about a few of them. So obviously the consistency of your social media needs to happen before you are out there trying to, attract people. So once that's all established, you can do things like I mentioned, finding the places around you that share your target market. So like the yoga studios, and just kind of go through. It takes some time, but you can go through and kind of see from their little profile pictures women that look like they would come to your salon. Just follow them. If you're getting people that are following you and you don't know where they came from, give them a click, see if they're local, and you can have a message that you send that's like, hey, thanks for the follow. I checked out your Instagram too. What a cute puppy you have. I see that you're in the Phoenix area. If you are interested in ever coming by, this is where I'm at. Here's a 10% off for you. Just let me know when you come in and remind me and show me this message and we'll get you all hooked up. Things
Right.
like that you can do. A lot of times people will start the conversation with me. And I don't know if that's because I go live and I do a lot of education and stuff. People just message me all the time and ask me questions. And then I can sort of build that rapport with them and then be like, hey, just so you know, like, come on by if you want to just tour the salon. This is when I'm here. Like, just get them interacting with you, because when you become a person that's like their little online buddy,
Right.
they can sit and like love all of your pictures you're posting for months before they actually come in. But if you're talking to them already, the next time they
Yep.
get their hair done, they're coming to you.
Right.
I also have a featured like client selfie highlight on my Instagram. So where you can do your highlights, I made one just of client selfies because they'll post them on their Instagram. And like I said, I don't want to repost that on my page because I'm only publishing like finished work with a
Right.
very clean background, and all of your client selfies are like in their car or like in their bedroom. So I made a separate place where I can post all of those because people do want to see that. And it's like the worst when someone sends you the cutest selfie and their hair looks amazing or their skin looks awesome or their eyebrows, and then it's just nonsense behind them. You're like, I can't post this. Well,
Right.
you just make a little section for it and put the cutest one as the highlight main picture, and then they go through and see. And that just kind of makes you more personable. The other thing I do, maybe not on the first visit, it just depends how in depth the conversation and connection goes. But once I know a client a little more, on the photos that I'm posting of them, I'm putting their name and then I'm putting all of the things that I love about them. So I'm
Mhm.
not talking about myself. I'm not like,
Right.
this is my balayage, I use Redken, da 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 da. I'm like, this
Right.
is my client. She's a preschool teacher for special needs children. I admire her. I think about her every single day because I
Right.
know she's out there doing this, that, and the other. She ran a marathon. Look at
Yep.
how awesome her hair is. Bam. And it
Yep.
makes people want to read that more than your like hashtag
Yeah.
low
Look what I can
lights.
do, right?
Yeah.
No one gives a
So,
crap
and
about
then
that.
that's when your separate comment with all your hairstylisty things is there. So people that are prospective clients aren't reading they don't know what the hell we're talking about half the time. But they're like, oh my gosh, this person is friends with all of her clients. And,
Mhm.
it just establishes that personal connection. And I think it
Right.
makes you stand out a little bit versus what everybody else is captioning.
Yeah.
And it's helpful because I ran out of hair captions a long time ago. There's only so much I can say. Highlights, haircut, color, I run out. So every client's so
Yeah.
different. All of my captions are
Stories,
now
right?
completely different.
Like tell their
Exactly.
story, tell their situation, what they did.
Yeah, focus on
Yeah,
them.
like tell what their situation was before they saw you, during and after,
Exactly.
and highlight them. Like make them feel good. Your clients will appreciate this too. They'll be more likely to refer you because
Oh, all of them
you,
are like, oh my
yeah,
God, I saw what you wrote about me.
who doesn't like love more exposure for themselves, right? Like
Right.
everyone wants to feel good about themselves. So make your clients feel good by promoting them, and at the same time, while you're promoting them, your work's behind it too, right? So
Exactly.
I'd say I've had the most people reach out to us and the people we work with when they're posting the results, when they're posting the
Absolutely.
stories of working with their clients. They're sharing and showing like what the client said about them, screenshotting like a text message to the client saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the best
Yes.
experience ever," or "Look what my
Yes.
client just sent me." Like sharing that, like just keep sharing
Yes.
that type of stuff because it shows that one, you provide awesome work. Two, that actual real life human people are coming to see you that are just like them, and they're more likely to reach out to you for it. And it just like gets them kind of hooked into what you do, and they want to see if you're the right person for them, right?
Right.
So Cindy says, how did you make that highlight page?
So when you go into your Instagram page, the little profile picture of you that's a circle, you just tap on it and add to your story as though you're just adding to your regular story. And then once that's posted to your story, there should be a little drop down, I think, on the bottom right hand
Like
corner
add
that's
highlights or
once
something?
you press it, it says add to highlights.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're going to add it to your highlights and it'll say create new or add to existing highlights. So you can create highlights for your products, your clients, your little quotes you like, the books you're reading,
Right.
anything you want. Yeah.
For Cindy to get started, or anyone who's watching, just go find someone who's like profile you'd like to model, and just like make your
Exactly.
own. Like who do you see out there that you like really like the way that their Instagram page looks, and you feel like that's like you? Just model it. It's not copying. It's not like cheating. It's not knocking off. You're just modeling what works. We talk about that all
Right.
the time. So that will hopefully help you. Like, Cindy, go find your favorite other. What do you do, Cindy? Skin, nails, hair. Like, go find someone else who's killing it. Just model what they're doing, right? Because they've already figured it out.
Yeah. There you go.
Deonka says, question: if you're a new mom and work one day a week for yourself, how do you be successful? Any tips? So I think that's kind of a loaded question, Deonka. How do you be
Right.
successful? Can you let us know like what success means to you? Like, what would you like to be seeing? Is it more clients? Is it like more exposure? You have to define what success is before we can help you with that.
That's true.
Let us know, Deonka. But I believe right now we covered a lot of different things. So we're going to open it up for the next 5 minutes for any
Okay.
specific questions. And as well, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk more about this workbook and whatever else you want to share with the audience too.
It is called Mapping Your Muse, and it used to be a whole workshop that I would teach. I think it was like a 2-hour workshop. So I used to do a lot of business coaching like yourself. I kind of retired from that to start my new endeavor with the new salon. So the good news about that is that I can dig up all of my old materials and just like give it away now. I used to charge. But yeah, exactly.
For a limited time only, right?
Yeah, so basically, it's just a workbook that's going to take you. It's a PowerPoint, so you can either print it out and fill it out, or you can have a separate notebook if you want to really like write more than the space provided. But you basically go through, establish your target market, and from there, it's going to take you into branding all the way to the point where you're getting these pointers on how to do your social media. And it goes as far as like, these are the fonts you're going to use. These are the colors you're going to use. So you'll be able to pick all of that. And then it shows you kind of how to match fonts across all of your different things that you're using. So like sometimes Vistaprint doesn't have the same font as Canva. So you're going to figure out what's the closest and write it down and never forget it. So you don't have to go through that process every single time you make a new card. Stuff like that. So it's pretty much
social media workbook so that they can know exactly what to do with their brand, what to do with their social media so it's consistent.
yes.
And be able to help best promote themselves. Awesome.
Yes.
So, and if you guys want this, I need to see some hearts or some thumbs up. So I'm not going to give it to you. I'll hold it. I'm gonna wait till you guys give me that while I answer some questions. So Deonka said, question. So back to what she was saying. If you're a new mom and work one day a week for yourself, how do you be successful? Which means have more clients and get more cash. What's a quick tip, trick, or hack that maybe you could get Deonka to go get some money in her pockets? Okay.
I mean, it is going to be a lot harder working one day a week just because of your availability. But you have to kind of train your clients to understand. And it's, for me right now, I'm in a temporary rental situation and my only days are Monday, Tuesday, and then every other Saturday and Sunday. So when people want to book on the days I'm not in there, I don't tell them that. I just say, my only available is this, or my next available is this. But clients are going to catch on if it's always the same day of the week.
Right.
So I would maybe avoid that and just straight out be like, I'm doing one day a week right now. I am a brand new mom. And then depending on if it's Saturdays, you're going to be probably a little bit better off than if it's like during the week. So if there's a way that you can make it be Saturdays, that's always going to be better. Sundays are another great day because nobody else is doing it. I can book a Sunday like no other because it's still the weekend for other people. And then if it's somewhere in the middle of the week, you got to make it like almost like a little party day, like a
Mhm.
mimosa Monday or a wine Wednesday, like offer
Mhm.
them a little incentive, just like we do in the salons. Like on our slow days, we would have little things like that. So that just needs to be kind of
This
what
it's
you're doing.
Sunday, I
Oh,
think.
it's Sunday?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I would on Sundays, man, you should be able to really book, especially because most of us aren't even open. And then I would say just make a little theme, and maybe you can change it every month.
Mhm.
So it could be like Mimosa Sundays for the first month, or
I think before you do that, you got to identify your ideal client too. Figure out if that's something they would want.
right, whatever it
So
is.
yeah,
And
I
if
would give Dianca the advice to like start by identifying what types of clients you'd want, identify how much cash you want to bring in, and then
yeah,
figure out how many appointments at what price point you need to do that. And then start with the ideal client, figure out what's going to best attract them, and do things like Stefanie just said that are a little bit creative and create like a specific offer that you can provide that a lot of other people wouldn't.
and if you come across any questions or you want logo advice or anything like that, you can just message me. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's basically just kind of going to get you off and running. By the time that you're done with it, you'll know exactly like what needs to change, what you're already doing correctly, and you'll feel more confident either way.
I'm sure Stefanie will drop her Instagram, and where else can people get access to you that you could share as well?
You guys can all add me on Facebook. I will type my Instagram in the comments. It's Stefanie Richards Stylist, and I
Mhm.
spell my name with an F. So you can find there. I'm more active on Instagram, I would say. Um, and then if you guys ever want to contact me via email, it's ashcoppersalon@gmail. I'm
Awesome.
pretty responsive on all fronts.
Yeah.
So
And keep an eye out because Stefanie and I may be doing some stuff together that will be revolved around some Mo education for you guys that'll probably
yeah.
be for free. So keep an eye out. If you guys want access to the workbook, type in hashtag give me the workbook. And I want you guys to give Stefanie a big thank you for coming, take the time out of her night to show up today. And she will hopefully be back soon to offer some more value to you guys.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So if you're in Phoenix and you're looking for a new home, message me,
Yep.
and you can come see if it's the right branded situation for you.
Absolutely. And we're going to be, hopefully, you've got a whole event space there. So
Yes, so we have
some
a
stuff
conference room there. We're going to be doing a ton of workshops. So I'm trying to get Jordan here to get a little in-person situation together. And
Everyone fly out to Arizona.
yeah, exactly.
Review boxes blow up.
But if there's a lot of you here, we're in Phoenix, you know. Again, if there's anything further I can do to help you guys, please don't hesitate to message me. I typically get back within 24 hours. And even though I'm not doing a lot of business coaching anymore, it's like still something I'm super passionate about. All of you are my babies, so I will definitely be available to help out with anything. And if I don't know the answer, we can find out someone that does.
We'll
So.
find someone who does.
Exactly.
If you don't know the answer, find someone who knows it, right?
Yes. I know
love
lots
it.
of people. I'll find the
Right.
answer.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stefanie, and thanks for everyone who is watching. We will talk soon, and hopefully we'll see you back here real soon, okay?
Yes.
You have a good rest of your night, and we will talk soon.
right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.